Alright, so we're just getting ready to leave this Maverick. We're gonna head up to a canyon right over this way. You can't see this new addition they're building over here yet, but they're putting in a TA truck stop and a Black Bear diner. But we're gonna head up this canyon. We'll pop out on the other side, and we're gonna come around and head towards Floating Island. So it should be pretty cool. It's starting to warm up, so we might see a few other people out there. So let's hit the road. So right now we are just a little bit north of town. I will put a screenshot up, show you right where we're at. This funky design you can see in the desert here, this is called the London Trolley. So back during World War II, when the pilots that dropped the atomic bombs were practicing and training, this is where they did it from, was out here in Wendover. So this is actually the gunnery range. They used to have tracks down in here, and they would have some men on a Jeep with a big target up top, and they would drive around this track here, and then the guys with guns down there will stop by there. I'll show you the pits that they had there. They had turrets set up. They had another shooting range where it seems like they just had their rifles, but this is where they would get their moving target practice. And then we used to have the bombers that would even fly out here during their training, and they would use their 50 caliber guns to shoot the tops of these hills. So if you hike to the tops of these hills, you can find some old 50 caliber rounds that have hit up there. If I remember, I will get some when I get home. I actually have collected some already. I'll show you what those look like. So we're gonna head down this road some more. We're gonna end up by that saddle, but then it's gonna backtrack this way again, and we're gonna come down in front of that London Trolley. Matter of fact, I think I see a little road there that I haven't been on yet. Maybe we'll come up top of it, do some exploring. We'll find our way around, but then we're gonna come around the bottom here, around that, and we're gonna go way out there towards Floating Island. Berm of that London Trolley. All right, let's say take a walk up there and take a look at it. So, like I said, they did a lot of target practice down here. So down that way is where they would station the guns. You can find lots of old rounds. Oh, look here, just like that right there. There's one of those rounds. Missed its target and hit the berm. So tracks aren't in here anymore, but there are still remnants of them. As a matter of fact, I believe there's some right over there. We're gonna follow this up. This more debris right up here. There you go, little track. So you can see here is the pavement they had laid in. There's the other side starting to expose. And they would just have a Jeep driving all the way around this with people on it and a big target up above for them to shoot at. And all you had to keep you safe was this big mound of dirt while your target held over top. And you could hear the bullets whizzing overhead. Man, what a crazy experience that would have been. So there's actually a few spots like this out here. This one is the biggest. It is the main one. They call it the London Trolley. I don't know if any of these other ones have any names. So you can kind of see this small berm here. That's another one there. And there's two more, I believe, out by that mountain. At least one. but I believe there might be 2. So I'll show you the Google Earth view and see if I can't remember to point out some more of these little fun places around here. And we're off. So right here are some foundations from the old shooting range too. It's another spot where they used to have guns mounted up. Silver Island mountain range. Small valley gap between them is the pass. So today's plan was to go to Floating Island, but my ADD allowed me to get distracted. So we've come up Silver Island Canyon instead. Floating Island would have been back out that way. Go down here, out and around. But I just had to come up this way. I've never been up this canyon, and I had to come see it. I've looked at it on the map many times, wanted to come out here and check it out, and just never got out here. So now here we are. So we're gonna head up this hill here, see what kind of a view we can get from there, and then we'll hike back to the side-by-side, which is ways back there. Doesn't look quite as steep on the camera. Ooh. Now, this is interesting. So this is solid black rock. Now, I'm no expert geologist. Maybe some of you in the comments might know better, but I believe this is a basalt dike. This area used to be pretty volcanically active when it was under the sea. Here you can see we got some coral, some other types of coral. But this was once the Bonneville Sea, about, I don't know, 100,000 years ago, something like that. But even longer than that, back when Pangea was around, when we were one big supercontinent, this part of Utah and Nevada was underwater in the Pangean Ocean, which I can't remember the exact name of it. Hell, that might even be it. But it was the largest ocean ever. It would be considered a super ocean. even dwarfing the Pacific today. But back when that was around, a lot of these mountains hadn't formed yet, hadn't been uplifted. And as far as I know, they were part of the seabed. Of course, some spots higher than others. And when they were close enough to the surface, that's where the coral would form. So we end up getting a lot of interesting formations out here from all the hydro erosion. There's more what I believe is basalt. But up through here, you'll find a lot of quartz. I've found lots of agate. I mean, I haven't found the agate in here yet per se, but in this range, this range I find a lot of quartz, There's one spot that's really heavy with agate and jasper. And I would like to learn why that is all in the area that it is. But there was also, shortly after the Bonneville Sea drained, exposing this, there used to be trees out here, large timber pines. And now, if you're lucky, you can find petrified wood here. I personally haven't found petrified wood, but I did just find some pretty cool quartz. If we can get to the focus. There we go. Yeah. Very pretty stuff. So, continue on our way up here. I'm going to try to get up top of this saddle for a better view. So when this was submerged in the Pangaean Ocean about 252 million years ago, there was a mass extinction event that killed up to 90% of marine life. Now, much of that marine life fell into the sediment, the sands. Some of them covered up, and you can find fossils out here. No, I don't believe this to be part of the fossils, but interesting features on the rock. This rock around here is super rough. I've stumbled and tried to catch myself before, and here you can see all the layers. And when I've caught myself on some of this rock here before, it is sharp. It's almost like trying to catch yourself on razor blades. Some cool features up in here. I would like to hike further back up in there, but not today. I believe this peak up here, or it might even be back behind this one, is Cobb Peak. And right here behind us, we have Graham Peak. Alright, well, I don't know if you can see it all the way down there. Ooh. Where's that? There it is. There's the side by side. So now I just gotta walk all the way down there to get back to cruising. Well, I forgot to tune us back in at the side by side, but here we are at the side by side in a whole new location. So we've gone further up that canyon now, up Silver Island Canyon. This road that we're on here is called Mining Road. It seems to be pretty aptly named, as there are a couple mines and prospect pits up this way. So I found one right over here. I haven't even gone over to look at it yet. Oh, but I bet you that is some of the ore that they were pulling out. So I'm going to continue walking on my merry way Oh, I see some digging already. Maybe the mine is right here. One can hope. So, well, I had to dig out part of the cliff face to get in. All right, well, I'm gonna keep walking and see when I get to the end of this road or to the mine. All right, well, I am adequately out of breath, but we made it. And there was a perfect turnaround spot up here, as I assumed. Man, some beautiful country up here. Let's see if we can find out what they were so interested in on this side. Now, I know there's been a lot of old mines and prospect pits out here that have found gold, copper, silver, tungsten, and a few other things. Ooh, yeah. I don't think we'll be going into that. Yeah, well, you could see where they'd been digging down in there. I assume this is what caught their attention. Well, we best not go in there. However, I do want to check out the area that was fenced off up here. See if we can find a way up here. Alright, well, looks like it was quite an extensive mine, it appears. I have to say, don't ever get this close to the edge. It's very dangerous. Man, and that goes quite a ways. There's this ladder here. Wow. That is impressive. Let's see what we can do for our zoom. You guys see what's in there? Let me know. All right. Well, time to explore up to the other one. So what I'm thinking is when I get home, I need to remember to look up that mine on the diggings, I think is what the website's called, and see if I can find out what they were pulling out of that one. Because I have a feeling they might have been going after microscopic gold, but I'm not sure. Because I know a lot of the gold around this area is locked in sulfides. Some very nice little piece of quartz here. So, a lot of mineralization in this area. But I wonder if it was silver or gold they were going after, or something else entirely. And I didn't notice this on my way down. There's another prospect pit right here. It's hard to tell on the camera, but it's been dug out there. Let's see what this is. This seems super faded. Shale, sandstone. pretty easy. Oh, look at that. Had quartz running through them. Oh. Ooh. And then this is that really purple rock. There's not more of this deep milky quartz. Well, so check out over this way. See if that leads us to a little mine. And if we look down off the side over here, should even see the side-by-side just chilling down there waiting for us. Well, doesn't look like there is another mine over here. I was just working on an assumption, because that road there, somebody cut it in and that was a lot of hard work. Well, now we can take the long way down, or we can take the shortcut. Oh, I'm pretty sure I can make that. Let's do it. Much faster than going by the road. Alright, well, time to get back to the side-by-side and flip around. Now that we discovered the end of that road, it is time to head back to the Silver Island Canyon Road. But we are not going out on that playa out there. That is just muddy, cruddy crap. That is how you get stuck in a heartbeat. But coming up through this way is actually the Hastings cutoff that the Donner Reed party had traveled on their way to California. Now when they got to these flats, they thought it looked like it was going to be pretty easy going, and so they only packed for 2 days of water. Well, those 2 days ended up turning into 5 of continuous walking, day and night. They hardly stopped to rest because they just wanted to get off the flats. Their oxen and the wagons were all sinking about a foot into the mud, just making it almost impossible to get across. So coming across it, they even would ditch some of their wagons and their possessions, just trying to lighten the load. And it would get so bad with the oxen going crazy from dehydration that they unhooked him and they tried to walk him across the flat to the spring almost 20 miles away. And when the oxen were finally able to smell the water, they just went mad, and they would start pulling so hard that they lost a lot of their oxen. So a lot of these settlers and pioneers lost a lot of possessions out there. And if you go out on those flats today, which you're likely to get stuck in a vehicle, but if you can make your way out there and you look around, I would assume use a metal detector, but you can find their old path, their old tracks, because they stayed in the mud so well. And if you look along them, you might be able to find some possessions that have been buried or thrown to the side. There's still oxen bones out there that it just died of dehydration and exhaustion. And there's even some unmarked graves out here that have been discovered. So who knows how many more. But a lot of pioneers and settlers have died trying to cross this flat. Alright, so we made it up here to the Hastings Cutoff. This is the way we just came up from. We're down out that way. So if you head this way, that there is Pilot Peak. Now the Donner Reed party, or anybody traveling the Hastings Cutoff, would have been coming from that direction. They just crossed about 60 miles of this open playa salt flat desert. And much of that was muddy, crappy, and really hard to traverse. So when they saw this, they were getting excited, thinking they were finally getting off of that, only to find, after this short stretch, you were right back onto more playa. And they had to make it all the way to the base of the Pilot Mountains there, which is nearly 20 miles away, before they finally could get to the spring that had water. And you can see, here's where we're at. So we came through a canyon right here, the Silver Island Canyon, and hooked up here. Now we're going to go back around this to about this spot here. Now this is Floating Island. That's where we had originally planned on going today, but I don't think we're going to make it there because I want to do some exploring along this side here. And then you can see here's where the party traveled. So here's some more. And I believe, let's see, yeah, it's this one here. That's the story I was telling you of that brought the coffee pot of water across the playa just to save her husband. So many people died on this route. That's the route you see that they should have taken, but Hastings claimed that this was a shortcut and they would make it in a much quicker time. They actually ended up falling far behind the groups that had gone this route. So if you get up to Donner Spring, which is actually on private property now, they have it fenced off, gated off. It's a well taken care of area, but there's unmarked graves down there, or at least marked with rocks, but past that, they're not marked. That mountain range out there, that's the Newfoundland Mountains. The south end of it is actually sectioned off, fenced off for the Department of Defense. You can go cruising around on the north side though. Doing some more exploring here, come down the road, and I stopped to read this post that I've never read before. It reads, Hastings Cutoff, Barren Mountains. The roads were gravelly around the end of some high rocks. Barren Mountains, Silver Island. That was Robert Chalmers, July 27th, 1850. I don't know if you can hear that plane flying around. Probably from, oh, yep, there he is, clear over there. Clear off over that way. Just by that saddle there. Man, cool stuff. And there's Floating Island that we were originally going to, and plans change. Well, here we are at another sign. Let's hop on out and check this one out. So, of course, if you want to read any of this, feel free to pause the video. Oh, there we go. That's Mr. James Reed. He was one of the richest men during the ride, and by the end of it, their family was one of the poorest due to all the things they had to leave behind just to make it through. So if we come around the sign, that there is Floating Island. They would come past that, walking across this playa all the way up around that side to get back on that other end that we saw. And we are going to keep going this way. I don't think we have too much further to go. It's right around on one of these ends is where there's this little mine I want to go check out. So let's get to it. Well, I'm not sure if I missed the turnoff, or well, not even the turnoff, there's not a road to it. But that mine that I had seen, I haven't seen it yet. I could have swore it was further back. So now we're just going to keep an eye on the range here on the side, see if we can find it. Well, we missed our turnoff. I missed the mine, I should say. It just doesn't have any road to it, so I guess I just missed it. It was on one of the hillsides that I must not have looked at. But we've found ourselves another great canyon to explore. So right up here, this is called Prospect Road, interesting enough. And you can see there's some cable in the ground over there. There was no barrel back there on my way up, and there's canopy even. So presumably up here we should find some sort of workings. Somebody was trying to do a whole lot of something up here. But this canyon's starting to get kind of tight. There is a road here, but I'm just not feeling too confident in my own abilities. Oh, look, there's a old post for something. Some more metal over there, right there. And yeah, so going to make our way up here and see what we can find. Oh, well, somebody's fire pit. Another piece of hose. Ooh, and a lot of cable. And guess what I just found? Our mine. Well, maybe not the one we'd been looking for, but this is pretty cool. Oh, can already see it's been sealed. So there's no getting back in there, supposedly. Well, looks like somebody else had something to say about that. They decided they wanted in. Interesting. Well, that is that. Really round rock. Let's see. The cribbing they'd put in. I think that's what it is, cribbing, something like that. Somebody out there will know. So I assume they didn't do anything else up there, because there's no road and it don't look easy to get up there. Doesn't mean I'm not gonna go check it out though. So onwards to that. I'm gonna see what's up there, and I'll let you guys know what I find. We'll see you there. Well, made it up into this little canyon. Nothing of particular interest though. Did find a little more trash in the wash leading up to here, but can't find where it would have come from. So, not sure why there's trash a little further up the wash here. but there was definitely no more workings up this way. But man, is it a beautiful hike up here. So we'll follow this back down to that little mine. That's that little bit I was in. Would be interesting to get up in there and around up on the top. But for now, we will just work on heading back. Oh, got a lot of places around this area that I would really like to explore. Ooh. Wonder. Ooh. Pretty. Pretty is what it is. Careful now. See, here we go. There's a pretty heavy duty pipe. I would assume that means it'd come from around up here somewhere. I don't see why somebody would have walked it back up here, because that mine's right down there. You can see the fire pit. There was a piece of rebar around here somewhere. Might have even been back there. Might have already walked past it. Oh, there's that big old piece of rebar. Pretty big. I found it down behind that tree originally. And here we are, back to the road. Well, I think I'm going to do a little bit more exploring, see what we can find. I'll keep y'all posted. look out there, you can see those are the sheep herders, and just tons and tons of sheep. Couple hundred head. I think this is going to mark the end of the video. Here we are at the Silver Island Mountain Backcountry Byway. It's been a pretty fun little ride. And now I head back that way, back to town, just over those mountains. So I know we were a little all over the place today. We didn't get quite see everything we were looking for, but we have many, many more videos to come and much more time to adventure. So please like, subscribe if you want to come along for the ride some more. I'm gonna do a lot of driving around out here by the Wendover area. It's huge desert, huge desert. It's got a lot of secrets. A lot of them I want to find with you guys. So tune in next time. Till then, take care.